My next guest is going to be fighting on July 15th. He's going to be taking on Jack Shore at UFC Fight Island. It is Aaron Phillips joining me here live on location in Abu Dhabi. Aaron, how's it going, man?
It's good, man. Treated well.
Tell me about the journey to actually get over there, because I know you got to do the COVID test and everything else. How has that been?
Yeah, it's been good actually. But my journey on Friday, I was just going to the auto parts store to get a little thing for the lawnmower, and then I got the phone call. So my journey only started on Friday, and it's been a rapid 24 to 36 hours. So they flew me to Vegas immediately on Sunday morning, me and my corners, obviously, 24-hour quarantine, passed the COVID test, did a little workout in the hotel room. I was on the same flight as Kamaru. So he was kind enough to take a little picture with me at the baggage claim. And that's kind of how everybody saw that Kamaru was in Vegas and everything was starting to kick off. So that part was cool. They picked me up in a gold stretch limousine. I'm not sure how many prelim fighters got that kind of treatment, but I will take it. So that was fun. And then of course, 9 p.m. we were all loaded up on the charter bus for the charter plane, So Dana was on that plane, Mick, all the brass, as well as all the fighters on the card too. So yeah, but they gave us business class, and man, I'm sure you've flown with them a few times, and it's when you recline back like that, that's a game changer. That was my first time in business class, and I slept a solid 7-8 hours as a result. So it was good.
You're living life, man. I've never actually been in business class, so you got one up on me there. That's incredible. But
I'm spoiled now, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to go back on a plane now. You've been sort of given the top tier stuff, and now it's like economy. It doesn't even compare, right? So
yeah, I've been to Thailand a few times, and those flights are somewhere over 20 hours in coach. So this really was a step up.
You mentioned getting the call sort of the last minute and being brought back to the UFC. Was this something you were expecting, or was this kind of just out of the blue, and you're just like, yeah, let's do it?
So this was both. So about a month ago, I re-signed with Sucker Punch, and I kind of moved up the chain of command per se with my guy Brian Butler, who's the face of Sucker Punch, just to kind of make that bridge for my career. And so since doing that, I hadn't had a beer or a cookie, and that was about a month ago. I did that with him and Sucker Punch, and then we just wanted to stay busy, get some news, and then on Monday of last week we were in verbal agreements for the Titan belt, for Titan FC to fight.
I literally just talked to their champion that just won recently, Danny Sabatello. I literally interviewed him this week, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get him because we were in verbal talks with him with Titan and Lex, and so I was hoping for a contract with Titan by the end of the week, but then Friday came, and we know with the passing of Khabib Nurmagomedov's father, so Umar and then those guys weren't going to make it, so there came a couple opportunities on the Fight Island card. And then about an hour later, we saw the Jack Shore's opponent pulled out. So it was just one of those, hey, there's two 135 fights, open right now, and I'm ready. So and it was, we've been through this probably 5 or 6 times now, where like, okay, we put your name in and we'll see what comes back. And it came back. I got the call, and So yeah, I mean, it was both a surprise, but I had a gut feeling like weeks ago, a month or so ago, that something big was around the corner. I've been on a good win streak, and I didn't stop training. We had to adapt training with COVID and everything, but I mean, I stayed on. I did my road work. I stayed doing everything that I could do to stay in shape, and as a result, I'm 147 pounds right now, a week out of my fight. So I've only got 10 or so more pounds to go. So it's both. It was just, well, am I surprised to be in Abu Dhabi right now? 1,000%, 1,000%. But my wife has been praying for a big opportunity for me and for us as a family. And so it was a no-brainer for all of us to jump at the opportunity and to say, yes, absolutely, I'll be there for the flight. So, yep.
Was there ever a point you thought this wouldn't happen? It's one thing to get to the UFC. I know in your case, you had 2 fights. They let you loose. I know you had a nice winning streak, but was there a point where you thought, even though you're only 30, that this might not happen again, just because it is very difficult to get back in the UFC for a second time?
Yeah. So 6 years ago when I lost my decision fights in the UFC, I told my wife, I said, I can get back there. I'll definitely, that's my goal. I can get back there and I can win in the UFC. And then I fought Chris Gutierrez, who, so the plan was to go, rattle off a few wins and beat some people up. And then I fought Chris Gutierrez, my first fight out of the UFC, and broke my leg, which sidelined me for over 2 years. And obviously put me on a 3-fight skid. So yeah, it was, coming back from that, making the decision to fight again. We had some kids, I got two wonderful kids. I have a business. We opened up a martial arts academy. And so to get back on a streak, a 5-fight win streak now, was a tough road. I've been busy over the last 2 years. But I set a goal this year that my goal was to be in a big organization by the end of the year, namely the UFC. And kind of a sub goal was like before 31. For some reason, I was like, you know what, 30's a prime. 30's like you in your prime. It's like 31 for some reason. It's like, I don't know if they're going to sign a 31. I don't know. Something about it was just like, I don't know if they're going to sign a 31-year-old guy, So here we are. I'm like 3 weeks before my 31st birthday. And, we got the call and I'm super excited about it. So I never didn't believe, but there was a little bit more urgency this year, especially I was on a win streak. I fought in November. And then of course COVID happens and then they're canceling all the fights and it's starting to come out like local fights aren't even happening until, September or October in Louisiana. So it's like, man, we're just going to lose out almost a whole year of my prime. And so I was starting to get like, I was starting to get a little concerned and but it's all good.
What's the mentality? I got to wonder this because there's a lot of interesting things going into this fight. First off, you're fighting a guy who's undefeated. I just took a quick look at some of the betting lines. They don't have all of them out yet, but I see one betting line has him as like a -400. You've already been in the UFC, so you have that experience. You know what to expect as far as, getting to the big promotion. Sometimes people have jitters or whatever. Is it kind of like, I hate kind of saying this, but you kind of feel like you have nothing to lose here because like short notice, fighting a guy, like all the pressure's on him. What's the mentality heading into this one?
Yeah. So I get that. Shore, first off, to talk about my opponent, much respect to Jack Shore. He is undefeated. I think as an amateur and as a professional. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Takedown heavy, ground heavy. But he's made a lot of headway on his striking. He's been cracking people recently as well. And he's got a huge following in Wales and in Europe and whatnot. So, and he's a young kid, 25, right? So a tough opponent and all the respect to him. But that being said, I'm not coming off the couch. Right. This is, I have a high expectation for myself. So maybe I have nothing to lose, but that is not necessarily the mindset that I adopt, as in like laissez-faire. It's all good. Whatever happens, I'm happy to be here. Like, of course I'm happy to be here, but I've carried a chip on my shoulder for 6 years because I always believed that I deserve to be in the UFC, and I have an 0-2 record in the UFC right now, and that never sat well with me. So maybe me picking up a fight. I'm sorry, I just had you still there?
I'm still there. Yeah, I still got you.
Okay. I can't see you right now. Somebody just tried to call in to me.
Oh, no worries. I can see you and hear you. Looks like everything's recording,
Yeah.
so we're all good.
Okay. So maybe, maybe the attitude, and people have said it to me, that like you have nothing to lose, and that's fine. But I carry this big chip on my shoulder, and like I desire to win. I am not complacent with getting here any longer. And I am 30 years old. I'm about to be 31 years old, and I want to make this a career until, I'm not going to fight forever, but I'm going to fight until, 30, 35 years old or something like that. And I want to do that with the UFC, and I want this to be the start of the rocket ship, So yeah, maybe there's a lot of pressure on him, and that's fine. And I'm sure he'll adapt to the pressure, but I believe in my skills, and I'm ready for an opportunity like this, a short notice opportunity like this. So I don't take it as laissez-faire, as just come and have fun. I am staying relaxed. I'm hoping to hit the I'm hearing the race cars outside my window, outside my room. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and do that, because I've been stuck in a room for 48 hours. But I'm still doing my workouts. I've got a schedule already mapped out once we're allowed to train. So I've done my research, and it is a tough fight. I'm 30. I have a family to fight for. I have a head kicks mixed martial arts club, a business to fight for. I have my kids. I am we're selling a house, and we're building a house. So I have a future ahead of me that I am the most motivated I could possibly be. So this is not a small, just take it as it comes and as it goes thing. I am relaxed, but I am prepared for this.
Did Ally Quinta ever get in touch with you about, I saw you responded to the fact that you were trying to sell your house because he does real estate. Obviously the account on Twitter's not him, but still, did you see that?
No, me and Al have been in direct contact, actually. So I tagged both, Raging Al and his parody account, or whoever runs that one. And the parody account shared my my thing on Twitter, but Raging Al commented himself. He commented on my house on Instagram, and he told me to send him the link, and in the DMs. So me and him have been going back and forth.
Nice.
In the DMs of Instagram, and I mean not like BS back and forth, like
actually serious, like talking business.
Like the man is trying to help me out, as far as the details of everything. So no, I mean we talked numbers, we talked. The man, he's serious about it, and we've actually got a showing literally probably in 2 hours at my house. So maybe this is all supposed to happen right now,
There you go. Everything coming together.
House might be sold before I get home. Yeah.
You mentioned there how you were sort of preparing for something anyways. You mentioned the possible Titan FC title fight. Who did you get to work with? What type of camp did you have leading into this in terms of, because I know some stuff's closed obviously, but in your case, obviously it's a little bit easier.
Yes. So as far as a camp, traveling was not going to happen over the course of the COVID, but I think I ran a marathon in early March, so I was coming off of being in shape from all that. We did I think I ran like 60 miles in the month of April with my gym. We did a gym wide contest for that, so I was still getting in some early morning training sessions. I do have a boxing coach, Mr. Tony. Shout out to Mr. Tony, and he has been very. He works, a full-time job, and he's been able to help me in the morning. So, I did that. I was able to meet up with a very small handful of guys as far as like actual grappling, but high-level guys, black belts. So I would drive, maybe an hour or so. Shout out to Scotty. Micah. So, these guys would, and it's like they didn't know I had a UFC fight on the horizon. Nobody knew. We didn't, nobody knew till Friday. So it's all just stuff that happened because I believed it was going to happen. And my you know, my partner, the accountant, Kurt, right? Kurt P. Arsemal, which is initials are CPA, which is, you know, funny enough.
I was
So
gonna say, yeah.
he's an accountant, but he's also a really good people person. So he would help me to set up, you know, with you know, Micah black belt, with Scotty black belt, and we kept our circle small as far as grappling wise. But it was the quality of the training that helped out a lot. And then I did have a good like three week push. Louisiana opened up the, you know, businesses and stuff. I guess not early, but earlier than some of the other states. So I did have like a good 3 weeks on the tail end there, just because I figured something was going to come up. So yeah, I'm not off the couch.
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I imagine the weight's good too, because like you said, you were training, you were expecting something, probably not, you know, eating a bunch of bad food. Like you said, you weren't coming off the couch.
I haven't had a beer and I haven't had a cookie in a month. I just stepped on the scale at 147 pounds.
Nice.
You know, whenever I was in the UFC, I think before, or even other fights, like fight week, I come in like 55 or something, you know, like, and then that's like on medical or on scale checks, like 4 days before. Here I am 8 days out. And, you know, I'm 147. I hit 145 yesterday, or in Vegas, but that was after a hot workout outside, you know. But it's definitely encouraging to know, like, hey, it's not going to be treacherous. Sometimes, like, you get used to cutting weight a certain way in your own bathtub or in some places, and I've gone to other places to cut weight, you know, and you go to like a different hotel and like, oh, the bathtub's small, or the hot water doesn't get hot enough, you know, and it becomes a problem. So I was worried about that, but it's going to be all good. Just because I'm walking around light, and the guys at Lockhart and Leith, Chef Ian, actually.
There he is. Yeah, he does a great job.
Oh man, you know Ian?
Of course I do. Yeah,
man.
One of the best in the business.
Dude, I got hooked up with him in Korea when I went with Danger to Korea. And he's a great guy. I think he's with Daniel right now for his camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he just I just reached out. See, another thing, I reached out to Ian 2 weeks ago saying, hey, Ian, just wanted to connect, buddy. I feel like something's going to happen. If I get the call on short notice, would you be able to, you know, what's your status looking like? Because I know he was living in Bali for a little while. So I met him when I met him in Korea. He was planning on moving to Bali. So I reached out to him 2 weeks ago, like, man, can you fit me in, or what can we do to make sure I make the weight on a short notice thing? And he was like, yeah, man, I got you. Like, just let me know if and when something pops up, and I'll, you know, we're in Vegas, we'll take care of you. And then it was like, you know, a week, 2 weeks later, I hit him up like, hey, it happened. I'm in shape, you know, but what do we got to do to, you know, to fine tune everything? And so I've been sending him pictures of what food offerings we got, what my weight is, you know, several times a day. And obviously it's beautiful right now. So it's all part of the plan.
How do you see this fight playing out on July 15th? Yeah,
Short's tough. And I think I'm going to have to dig into some, not that he's not a veteran, you know, but I think I've logged 12 years in this game already. So I'll probably have to dig into that tool bag a little bit. I think I'm going to be sharp on the feet. I'm going to move my feet, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the fight is going to end per se, or if it ends, or if it goes to a decision. But I definitely think it's going to be a scrap. And I believe in myself on the feet, on the ground. I think toe to toe, I got his number. You know,
Awesome.
I think he's probably going to be like you said, a favorite. I haven't seen any of the odds yet. I think he's going to be a heavy favorite. You know, understandably so. But I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a great one for the fans, and a great one to open up the the fight card with too. So whether it goes 15 minutes, we're going to push the pace for 15 minutes. And, you know, my will for this fight is to test his will. So however which way it's got to go.
After the fight, are you going to get on the mic and call out Chris Gutierrez, get that rematch?
Man, actually, Chris gave me a congratulations. Like, we've been talking like 2 days ago, and we've always kept up. I mean, it's obviously cool to see him go 3-1 in the UFC, and he set a leg kick record, something like that recently, fight spot leg kick stoppage. And so he sent me a congrats on signing, 2 days ago, and we've been talking, and I've actually got family in Colorado with his or in Colorado where he trains. So I just hit him up and was like, man, dude, thanks so much. We went back and forth, and I was like, look, if next time I'm out there in Colorado visiting the family, let's get together. If I was like, I understand we're in the same weight class, and also you can definitely tell me no, but it's all good. If you want to train, we'll train. And he said, absolutely, of course. I've trained with Mark Montoya and those guys before, because my family's out there. So yeah, no, much respect to Chris. I have experienced his leg kicks before. Do I want to rematch with him? I mean, it's not like, so I have a chip on my shoulder, but it's not with like Chris or anything. So if they, if they call me to fight, we got to that point, we can, it's what I'm sure he would fight me if they put my name on the line, and I would fight him if they put his name on the line. But there's a lot of people in the division, and we're, we've kept up with each other for years. So whichever, it's all good.
Aaron, thanks so much for the time. This was awesome. This is my first Zoom call, by the way. You were the one who sort of helped me get this all together. So happy to be doing it with you. Awesome interview. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, anything you want, the floor is yours, man. Yeah,
I definitely want to thank my wife and my lovely kiddos. Because of my wife, she, is why I'm able to do some of the early morning workouts or stay in the late workouts. So she is the driving force behind both myself and Head Kicks, our family business. She's there all the time. She's teaching extra classes right now, some of the fitness classes. So definitely her and Coach Tony, Coach Damon, who were unable to make this trip with me, but have been with me for the last 5 fights. I appreciate all you gentlemen do, and obviously I'm gonna do what it takes to represent Lafayette well. And obviously there's some big shoes to fill with Dustin coming from Lafayette and with Daniel coming from Lafayette. So I don't claim to try to fill championship shoes, on 11 or 12 days notice, but I've known Dustin for 12 years. We talk, 12, 11, 12, something like that. We talked just the other day, right before the trip. So he told me to take in the week and enjoy it. So it's just one fight, it's just one guy. So it's all good. I just want to thank my whole team back home. Everybody's having to step up to the plate while I'm over here, and all the staff, all the coaches, it's all good.